You're now watching Cultural Survival's Global News Bulletin. Every month, Cultural Survival brings you the latest news impacting indigenous peoples across the globe. This December edition features important stories from Europe, North, Central, South America, Africa, Asia, and beyond. In USA, indigenous communities in the US Southwest are successfully reviving centuries-old dry farming techniques like waffle gardens to grow resilient crops and conserve water amidst severe droughts. These weather-adaptive methods are promoting cultural self-sufficiency and health, offering a proven, replicable model for arid regions globally facing climate change.
In Canada, the Vatican formally returned 62 Canadian Indigenous artifacts, originally from a 1925 exhibition, to the country's Catholic bishops on November 15, 2025. This gesture follows the 2022 papal apology for residential schools and will see the collection transferred to national Indigenous organizations, marking a concrete step toward reconciliation, truth, and justice.
In Australia, Victoria has enshrined Australia's historic first treaty with Aboriginal people into law, marking a major step towards reconciliation. The accord grants First Nations people greater oversight in decisions affecting their health, housing, and education, taking effect from December 12.
In Kenya, 64 Nashulai Maasai landowners in southern Kenya have leased 2,400 hectares of land, establishing a conservancy. Refusing to build fences, they reclaimed vital wildlife corridors near Masai Mara, reviving habitat for animals like giraffes and elephants, and balancing conservation with community livelihoods. Still in Kenya, the African Court on Human and People's Rights mandated the government of Kenya to pay the Ogiek people $1.3 million in compensation and legally restore the ancestral lands in the Mau forest. This decisive ruling grants collective land titles, establishes a community development fund, and requires full consultation, following Kenya's failure to honor previous court obligations from 2017 and 2022 respectively.
In Nepal, the Lawyers Association for Human Rights of Nepalese Indigenous Peoples won the 2025 Human Rights and Business Award at the UN Forum in Geneva on November 24. This prestigious global recognition celebrates 3 decades of tireless legal aid and advocacy, successfully defending indigenous peoples' rights and ensuring justice against corporate and government actions in Nepal.
In Cambodia, the Naman Kura Short Film Festival for Young Asian Indigenous Peoples in Cambodia's Kep province has opened its second edition under the theme Anchored in Hope with Our Ancestral Territories. Organized by Don Bosco Technical School and Roots, the event showcases films by youth from communities like the Jarai and Bonong who use storytelling to reclaim identity, land, and cultural resilience.
In Brazil, the COP30 climate conference in Belém saw record indigenous participation, securing historic commitments for forest protectors. Negotiators agreed to recognize land rights as climate solution, backed by a renewed $1.86 billion pledge to secure 160 million hectares by 2030. The new Tropical Forest Forever facility also mandates 20% direct financing for indigenous groups.
In Panama, Panama has hosted the historic first session of the Convention on Biodiversity's new subsidiary body on Article 8, mandating full and effective inclusion of indigenous peoples in biodiversity governance. This forum ensures that their ancestral knowledge is respected, preserved, and formally recognizes them as key guardians in global conservation efforts, marking a major step in environmental democratization.
In Peru, Peruvian indigenous leader Olivia Bisatirco has won the 2025 Global Award for Environmental and Climate Justice for Latin America. The Zapra nation president was honored for her relentless resistance against destructive extractive industries and demanding environmental remediation since mid-2022. In Ecuador's Indigenous Alliance, the Confederation of Indigenous Nationalities of Ecuador, held a finalized no-vote victory in November 16 referendum. As a decisive rejection of President Daniel Nobo's alleged authoritarianism, leaders criticized the government's failed campaign spending, stressing the outcome sends a clear message against political persecution and honors recent protesters.
In Colombia, the 15th Wayu Film and Video Festival in Riohacha, La Guajira, successfully reinforced indigenous communication and cultural sovereignty. This unique event, led by the Wayu People's Communications Network, served as a crucial meeting point for indigenous communicators, highlighting their ancestral stories and affirming their right to an audiovisual narrative.
That is all for this edition of Cultural Survival's Global News Bulletin. Stay tuned for our next broadcast. For more information on the rights of indigenous peoples, visit ces.org and follow Cultural Survival on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads, and Blue Sky.